Hey Skinnies, you're in for a SkinnyAmerica treat. This is the Huli Huli Pork Chop. This dish comes from Hawaii. The name Huli means turned or barbecued and turning meat. So Huli Huli is turning, which we do in the latter part of this cook when we sear the pork chops. This is the pork chops that we're going to be using. One of the amazing things about these pork chops, as you can see, they're beautiful and thick. They're also free range, and if I look a little bit closer, you can see there's a little bit of that fat through them. It's sometimes hard to decide where to get your meat from, and I know from our research, we always go and try Woolworths and Coles to make sure the meat's accessible for you. In this particular case though, I went to my local butcher to have a look, and I actually found that not only was the quality higher, but the price was not only comparable, but cheaper. This was 1.25 kilograms of pork chops for around $25. So if you compare that to those packs that, a little bit less meat, they look more well priced, but actually it works out that the butcher's is cheaper on average for things like these cuts. So the first thing I'm going to do with these things is I'm going to slice off this particular rind. Now, if I was cooking these a little hot and fast and I want to get a bit of crackling or something, I'd leave it on there. I'm going to take that off and we're going to discard that for this case. And we want this basically to be able to render out and be really, really delicious and easy to eat and to have no sort of hard skin on it. Okay, now it's time for the marinade. And the all-important ingredient for anything Hawaiian, well, at least quintessentially Hawaiian, is pineapple juice. So there'll be plenty of that in this marinade. First up though, a little bit of basics, some ginger and some garlic. Give this thing a bit of a chop. If you're a skinny mixer, you know the drill. Chop and repeat. Okay, now this is an easy marinade to make. It's probably why I like it, because most of the things I create are pretty easy. This is the pineapple juice that makes it truly huli huli and authentic. One of the aspects that I also like about this dish is the Hawaiian influence from the Japanese migrants. So there's going to be a little bit of Asian flavors kicking through this. Beautiful, perfect. Nothing better than a little bit of Worcestershire sauce. More of that Asian flavor and salt coming from the soy. Fantastic. A little bit of a strange one, a little bit of a personal preference one, if you will. Using a hot sauce of your choice. Obviously for this, we love to use sriracha. Beautiful. Then I'm going to need to add a little bit of spice, some tomato paste, perfect. And last but not least, throw in my sugar, and that is as easy as it is to make huli huli marinade. We're going to give that a quick mix, and in about 15 seconds our marinade's made. Our beautiful butcher pork is about to get covered in this marinade. We're going to let it rest for, I think the best, the guide we've given is 2 to 3 hours. You can have it go for longer. It's not going to have an ill effect if you do. It's a really good idea to let this marinate as much as you can because it tenderizes the pork while also imparting lots of flavor. So, using a nice bowl of your choice, throwing in the pork, taking the delicious marinade. With that pineapple, it smells absolutely divine. Pouring it over. Giving that a little bit of a stir through, give you an idea of what that color looks like on the pork already. Gorgeous. I'm going to cover this and rest it in the fridge for about 2 to 3 hours. Beautiful. Let's start cooking. So our huli huli pork's been marinating for 3 hours. What we're going to do now is we're going to take these out of the marinade. We're going to place them into a steaming basket because we're going to use the thermo cooking method. Remember, there's also the barbecue method if you're so inclined. Last one in there, drain a little bit of that liquid off. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the marinade, I'm going to pour that marinade so nothing's wasted back into our bowl. I'm going to add a little bit of sugar, coconut sugar or brown sugar, you know the choices you get to make. Perfect. I don't know how I get those measurements right every time. And then I'm simply going to set this up for a few minutes to make a beautiful glaze that will apply to these once we're ready to cook. And now we get ready to cook using the thermo method. So with our marinade now turned into a beautiful glaze, we're just going to set this aside. Keeping the bowl dirty. We're going to add a little bit of water. Perfect. Lid back in place. Throw in those pork chops straight on top. Steaming cover in place. And now we're going to steam those pork chops just to get that flavour perfect before we hit them with a nice hot sear and some of that glaze. The pork thermo cook has just finished. These things are steamed and are at perfect temperature for eating, but there's one thing missing. We're going to take these guys off and then we're going to glaze them with that glaze we created just before, and then we're going to sear them to perfection, and we're going to change the dynamic from a pale looking pork chop to a Hawaiian classic, the Huli Huli. Wow, look at that. And as you know, it isn't a party unless there's pineapple involved.